Hello, I'm Marshall Glock. This is my third speech, and this is my audience members.
Houses were shut tight and cloth wedged around doors and windows, but the dust came in so thinly that it could not be seen in the air and settled like pollen on chairs and tables and dishes. This is a description from John Steinbeck's Grapes of Wrath. And without a serious look at the tillage practices of today's farming operations, something similar to this imagery could happen. No-till farming is a way to ensure that the Great Dust Bowl of the 1930s will remain something that happened in America's past. By practicing no-till strategies, soil structure will increase and soil erosion will decrease. The climate will benefit, and farmers can experience financial gain. As someone born into a multi-generation family, I have learned the importance of no-till farming practices. Now, some of you may be asking, what is no-till farming and why is it necessary? From the Genetic Literacy Project, Nicholas Staropoli writes, "No-till farming is a type of soil conservation farming that prepares the land for farming without mechanically disturbing the soil. The previous year's crops, referred to as the crop residue, are chopped off and left on the topsoil." To explain why no-tilling is necessary practice, I'll first take you back to the previous practices in farming history. In his book, Dirt, the Erosion of Civilization, David Montgomery discusses the beginnings of soil erosion. In the Great Plains, began with the 1838 invention of the steel plow by John Deere. That invention started the downward spiral of ecological disaster because once plowed, the plains would simply blow away, especially during the dry years. By 1909, the National Conservation Congress reported that almost 11 million acres of farm ground in the U.S. had been abandoned due to soil erosion and damage. Then came the invention of disc plows. These implements had rows of concave plates that could dice evenly through more land and leave a layer that could easily be blown away by dry conditions. So when the major windstorms began in the 1930s, enough dust was stirred up to choke people, kill livestock, and cover crops with drifts of dirt. In the 1960s, almost all U.S. cropland was still plowed. It wasn't until the 1970s that American farmers adopted no-till methods. No-till farming has been shown to be very effective in reducing soil erosion, with little to no loss in crop yields. As reported by Montgomery, in one of the first tests of the effect of no-till methods, it was reported that cornfields in Indiana had more than 75% reduction in soil erosion. Additionally, Staropoli stated that the USDA's National Resource Inventory credits the 43% reduction in soil erosion across the United States between 1982 and 2003 to the increase of no-till farming. In addition to benefiting soil conservation practices, no-till farming provides a decrease in global warming concerns. In addition to the reduced carbon emissions from mechanical equipment, there are several other benefits that are controlled by climate change. As reported by Gordon Gallup in the June 11, 2016 issue of No-Till Farm magazine, no-till farming, often when paired with crop covering, reduces the emission of carbon dioxide by sequestering or holding in the soil. Over half the potential carbon dioxide sequestering comes from conservation tillage. More carbon in the soil also helps reduce the need for fertilizers. By increasing soil fertility, leaving crop cover or residue behind after harvest also increases the retention of water in the soil. With less runoff, there are a major decrease in the amount of contamination that might occur due to fertilizer usage. In addition, the release of nitrous oxide is also reduced through no-till farming practices. Nitrous oxide is a major greenhouse gas and air pollutant. An additional benefit of no-till farming practices is probably one that affects me directly, as it involves economic benefits to farmers like me. No-till reduces expenses for farmers in several ways. As stated previously, no-till methods reduce the amount of fertilizer farmers need to purchase. As stated by Ted Glock, my father, and a farmer in conservation on June 25, 2016, an increase in soil, organic matter means more fertile fields and eventually lower fertilizer bills. In addition to the crop residue, helps to hold the moisture, which requires less expenses. Eliminating the step of plowing or disking the field can save farmers hours in their tractor and a great deal in fuel costs. In his August 12th column in Outlook's on Post Management Online magazine, Theodore Frederick and his associate Amir Qasim claim that the conventional tiller must make 3.5 to 5 additional trips or passes across the field to prepare it for planting. No-till farmers can eliminate those trips and save an average of $33.69 per acre in the process. Finally, the proof of economic benefit can be seen in higher yields. In data included in his August 30th, 2013 article in Modern Farmer magazine, Jesse Hirsch reported that 2011 no-till plot in Nebraska averaged 197.1 bushels of corn per acre, while conventional tilling averaged 190.1 bushels per acre. Savings can also be seen in the total cost per acre to produce this acres of corn. Hirsch continues to report that the cost per bushel for the non-till test plot was $4.03 and the full tillage test plot was $4.52 per bushel. Even with all this information, many farmers still plow their fields, disrupting the soil, its nutrients, and the organisms that thrive there. But fortunately, the practices of no-till farming has increased over the past 5 to 7 years. With addition, farmers using these methods, soil erosion will continue to decrease, our climate and air supply will benefit from reduced emissions and the release of dangerous gases into the atmosphere, and farmers, especially on small family farms, will gain financially. The Great Dust Bowl of 1931 was created by decades of plowing and cultivating the once fertile soil. Farmers didn't have the knowledge of soil conservation practices at that time. With nothing left in the ground to anchor the topsoil, the land became dust swept by strong winds into enormous dark swirling clouds. Today farmers have the ability to prevent the reoccurrence of another black blizzard, and one way to produce that is through no-till farming practices.